Okay, Metcalf, we're going back to Arkansas today for 30 and 30. We're bringing another prospect that's generating some buzz, Meleek Thomas, who is listed at 6'5", 185 by Arkansas's website. Spent last year with the OTE, with the City Reapers. Shout out to the OTE. ESPN had him as the 11th ranked prospect, I believe, coming out of high school. McDonald's All-American, Jordan Brand Classic, bucket-getting machine, Meleek Thomas. So very intrigued to see what he could do at Arkansas this year. One of these guys that I'm starting to buy in a little bit more that I watch, but where are you at with Malik Thomas? What do fans need to know about him? I know I hinted at the bucket, getting machine, so I'm sorry if I stole some thunder there, but go ahead. Go crazy.
Yeah, video ruined. No, he's one of these guys that I really, 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 really want to buy in because the good is so good. And like if we're just talking highlight tapes, he probably has one of the more impressive ones in this freshman class. And the way that he can get to his spots in all three levels is really fun. The scoring versatility is a blast. Every now and then you get a sprinkling of some fun playmaking flashes, especially when he uses his scoring gravity. I'm weirdly really optimistic and intrigued with the defensive end as well. So it's like I want to buy in, but then every time I watch him, they're just like some of these red flags that just keep popping up. I'm like, oh, I hate so much of that. But it's like, all right, is that who he is? Or are these just some bad habits where in a new context with the proper coaching can really quickly get worked out of his game? Because if they do, then I'm starting to buy all the way in. But if they're like, no, this is just kind of who he is, I start to worry a little more.
I mean this in the best possible way. So for Arkansas fans out there, don't come hunting me down. If you need to yell at me in my DMs, my DM is T Metcalf 11. Yeah. Kidding. No. So I mean, this is the best way. This is usually the type of prospect I get scared of. And this is usually the one I'm usually like, hey, let's pump the brakes here. Cause just the bucket getting where you're like, oh, the ISO over dribbles, blah, blah, blah. So the first time I saw him, I was like, I'm out. Then I saw him the next day, and I said, I've never done a 180. I think I might be back in. And it was just impressive. But I think that's the Malik Thomas experience. It's like, hey, there's days where you're trying to just balance both worlds because he's a really good basketball player. Like he could play. He's a stud. He can light it up from the perimeter. And then there's some flashes that you really start to fall in love with the versatility, the toughness, the size you really like to see, like how he's at 6'5". There's a really good upside and potential with his game. Just some quick stats, because people love the stats. Junior year of high school, he was at Lincoln Park Performing Arts Charter School. He averaged 23, 10, 5.8 assists and 3.3 steals per game. But let's get even more fun. Metcalf last year with the OTE, 27 points per game, 7.6 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.6 steals on 44.2, 40.4, 81.1. If you could give me that, he's probably going top 5. But realistically, what do you need to see this year with Malik Thomas to get you to buy in? Because I think there's a lot of us, at No Ceilings even. There's some that really like him. There's some that are like, I want to buy in. I want to dive in the deep end, but I'm just, the water's a little cold. I want it to heat up a little bit. So what needs to come around for you to see it? Is it just you need to see something other than, the microwave ability as a scorer?
I need the processing speed to be so much quicker, the decision making to be a little better, and the blinders to come off. Because too frequently in his high school stuff, he's just over dribbling the ball, and it's incredibly. It was more rare for him to make to play like 0.5 basketball rather than dribble the air out of the ball for 15 seconds. And he's such a fun and dynamic scorer. 20 or 91st when we look at his AAU numbers, 91st percentile in transition scoring, 91st percentile as a pick and roll ball handler, 83rd percentile spotting up. I really like him in that shooting guard role, that off ball creator role, that secondary, tertiary creator. But a lot of the decision making and shot selection and ability to separate is rough. And that really pops up 26th percentile in isolation. Not good enough, especially for how frequent, especially when he ranked in the 93rd percentile in isolation frequency. So he's doing it all the time, or he was doing it all the time and not being effective at it. And what that comes down to is a lack of strength to really separate, a lack of initial burst and first step to separate, and over dribbling and not seeing where the help defenders and rotations are coming from. So that's my big thing with him is, can you speed up your decision making and just play simple? When he plays simple and just takes what's there, is decisive attacking a closeout, he looks really good. But then it's like he will hesitate and over dribble and try and string together 12 counter moves when he had them on the first step anyways. And so every time I watch his film, it continues to just be like that glaring red siren of like, get off the ball, do something with it, just put up a shot right away, make a quicker move. And when we watched Arkansas's Pro Day, Calipari was giving him the same feedback. So that makes me I'm torn because it's like, all right, so they're working on it. Like it's been addressed. How quickly, if ever, is it going to get fixed? And if it does, I'm way more optimistic and way more in on him as a player because he's one of these guys that you always feel him on the court. Like you never forget that he's out there because he's always doing something on both ends of the floor. The defensive, especially on ball, tenacity and fundamentals. It's just like I like the way he fights on defense and think he has some stuff there. But if you can just simplify what he's doing on offense and play a little quicker, it's going to do wonders for his game.
Look, okay, no ceilings especially, and if you talk to other scouts, I think you all have archetypes that you get stubborn with. You're like, I this is the archetype I buy in. I stay cautious. The fact that this is one of those that gives me caution, but I'm also trying to buy in on it, speaks volume for Meleek Thomas. And I'm not saying like I have a crystal ball, but I'm just saying that's how special of a talent he is I'm like, well, this one seems different because there is some versatility. I think John Calipari is also like Coach Cal is why I'm buying in because I'm like, he's going to get that iron out. Like the questions I have with Malik's game, I think Cal's going to be able to work with that when it comes to like over dribbling. I like the transition. You saw, at their pro day, like you mentioned, like Cal was right away like, hey, good shot. Stop dribbling the ball.
Yeah.
Like stop dribbling the air out of it. But there's so much tools. I like the foundation he's got around him. Billy Richmond's the name me and you were really high on this year. A couple of our guys in No Ceilings. Darius Acuff, a lot of talent. Carter Knox. So it's going to be fascinating. He should have a lot of weapons around him. I just want to see if the playmaking comes around and then defense. Because I know one thing, Malik's going to be able to score. I'm not worried about that. I want to see what else does he have. And if he can showcase that, I think he's going to be a name that goes up in the draft ranks. Any last thoughts for draft fans and for the Arkansas faithful that are definitely overreacting to our words?
No, and the potential with him is astronomical. Like he could be incredible. And I'm going to steal one of your comps that you mentioned to me off the air. But it's like, all right, he has the potential to be Jamal Crawford, to be Anthony Simons, and I hope. But I think there's also a lot of routes where he could be Deion Waiters or Nick Young. And those are two very different sets of players in terms of productivity. I know those other guys had relatively long NBA careers, but I would still probably say that they fell short of where their talent suggested they should have been. And those guys are kind of a dying breed in today's NBA. So I really hope that Malik continues to buy in and be more of that secondary guy. And I think having an upperclassman and DJ Wagner will help. I think having guys like Billy Richmond and Darius Acuff, who's one of the biggest name point guard prospects in this class as well, is going to help make that transition into more of that off-ball role, more into that simplified role easier. Just need to see it.
I'm starting to get this, pro comp thing down because I really do like the Anthony Simons. That one's going to stick. So I'm proud that you get to say it because now if people don't like it, I'm going to be like, well, it was Metcalf. He said it first. So
is your idea? I freely admit that I stole it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, we don't need to say the Jamal Crawford one was me because people will be like, oh, really? The best six? No, okay, calm down. All right, Metcalf, this was a fun one. Arkansas faithful, thank you. Draft fans, thank you. Thank you guys all for the support. Another 30-30 down. We're rolling, baby. We're getting close to that starting point of draft season, the return of college basketball. So check out the No Ceilings NBA YouTube channel every single day. We're going to have a new prospect, 30 prospects, 30 days. Thank you for joining myself, Tyler Rucker, and the mad scientist, Tyler Metcalf. We'll see you guys soon.